Woodwards and, of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Monday show, November 4th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 70,000 subscribers on this platform, hit the like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports, tell a friend about us as well. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Extremely a good afternoon. Maybe a little bit ugly outside, but whenever you get the win on Sunday, it's always important. I'll let Tom Mazaway and you guys jump into that, but ran into somebody who else got a win yesterday. A friend of mine from when he was playing, Jared Jack, a.k.a. Jack, is now coaching on the Detroit Pistons. He's living here in Birmingham. Went to lunch at Toast, ran into him. He had nothing but good things to say about the city as well as watching the show. He said, I get a chance to check out a clip from time to time, Woodward Pistons or something like that. So good to see him, and team's in a good spot. So shout out to the Pistons and Coach Jared Jack. He's a year younger than me, but we're the same high school year. So, man, it's good to see one of my era type players.
Absolutely.
Jay Jack and the Pistons with the win last night.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, Rye. Hey, Bray.
What's up,
Welcome
Tom?
in, Stick, Pete. Great win for Detroit again yesterday, right? Lions and Pistons both win it.
First
Bad
time in 4
Saturday, of
years.
course, in college football, but that's besides the point. But, man, the Lions are just so I feel like I'm in love with my first girlfriend again. You know, it's like it's a feeling that I can't explain as a true blue NFL football fan that I have finally, that I can root for the best team in the NFL and know they're the best team.
And they make it look so easy, too, Braylon. That was a hard game yesterday, and I think that's one of the takeaways that I have from this game. They go on the road to Green Bay, bad weather day out there, against one of the upper echelon teams in the NFC, and they make it look so easy. That game was never in doubt.
Yeah.
The Lions dominated from beginning to end, and you just feel like the only thing that can stop the Lions are the Lions themselves. There's no team out there that could beat these guys. They're playing as good a football as anybody in the National Football League right now. And Braylon, I'm telling you, buckle up, because the second half of this season could get really, really fun.
Look, first things before we get into the games and we talk about the X's and O's and the big plays and who didn't play, I just want to talk about Dan Campbell for a second. You can tell as much as anything in this game, Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazaway, Stick, Peeps, Pieback, it's the coaches that matter. It's the coaches that matter. I'll say this to say this. Dan Campbell had those guys prepared. You can see which team played with balls that were wet in practice. Pause. What they do when you know you're playing a rain game is you take a canister, plastic, trash can, fill it up with water, and you put the Wilsons in there and you just let them get wet. You let them soak so that you then go outside and practice and emulate what you're going to see on the weekends. You can tell the guys that wore the right cleats. You can tell the guys that didn't try to catch passes like they were going to catch the ball and then make a move before they caught it. They took the time to catch with their stomachs. You can tell the players that took extra steps so that they didn't slide and fall, and they had the right technique when running routes. This game was about preparation, and Dan Campbell had those guys prepared. You did not see the same type of attention to detail and attention to detail on Matt LaFleur's side. Dan Campbell won this game during the week. These guys were ready to play this game.
They were fantastic, guys. Not only that, they kind of took the starch out of the Packers. I mean, they 4th and 5 from the 5, and they throw a fade pass to the corner of the end zone where if the ball isn't in a perfect spot, Amon-Ra St. Brown can't make that catch. He drops it right in the bucket. That right there, to me, broke their back because the Packers were up 3-0, 14-play drive to start the game. I'm like, okay, we're going to be in a game here. When they had that play, he's got balls of steel. And Jared Goff, protection, is top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Stick, congratulations. Your guy is the guy. That's all I got to say. And I thought that play won him the game.
Look at Amon-Ra St. Brown's gloves on that catch. Look at the gloves that he chose to use versus the gloves that Jaden Reed and those other guys. Even though he had some catches, a lot of drops, he chose the sexy, the flashy ones that you wear on hot days, on nice days. Amon-Ra chose the one that you wear when it's raining and you're catching touchdowns. It's just starting with preparation.
And you talk about that ball going, Amon-Ra St. Brown, too. It was accurate. It was right on the money. It was right where Amon-Ra could catch it, and nobody else could catch it. If it falls incomplete, well, then Green Bay's got it 1st and 10 at the 5, not 1st and 10 at the 20. Because
it's a calculated move.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this much too: Jared Goff is as good as they come, like you said, Maz, when protected. 28 touchdowns this team has scored in the last 6 games. 24 in incomplete passes. Goff had 4 incomplete passes on a day like yesterday. I don't think you can understate how that goes. 24 incomplete passes over a 6-game period. The first team, the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era since at least 1940 that has more touchdowns than incompletions in a 6-game stretch. And the stat is since at least 1940, because that's when they started keeping record of that.
Yeah, and
it's probably ever.
And it's one of those stats, Ryan, where you can't undermine this in any way. Stick here. Shout out to your boy, man. Your boy Jared Goff is playing football. So many of these stats, you can start to do things like, well, it only happened because of this. Well, if you look at this, there have been many quarterbacks that have had really good running games, as well as wide receivers, as well as really good offensive coordinators that have been good quarterbacks that have not attained this. This is the first time it's ever happened. So you got to shout out Jared Goff. The version of him that's playing right now, this guy is the MVP frontrunner. And right now, I think even with Lamar Jackson, I think Jared Goff is the MVP frontrunner. He just gets it done no matter what's going on. And he's slowly quieting all the critics, because outside was one of his biggest proponents of him not having success. This was outside game in the rain, and he showed up.
Just take a 30,000-foot view of this team. We're so close to it. We're so into it. Take a 30,000-foot view of this team, if you could, and just look at what they did yesterday on the road in Green Bay without Aiden Hutchinson, without Jamison Williams, and essentially for more than half the game without Brian Branch. Put into words what yesterday's win meant to you and to this organization and to this team.
I watched that game yesterday. We ate dinner like an Italian family back east. We ate at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, so we could be done by 4:30. Me, Kathy, my daughter Maddie, Grandma, and one other person, Maddie's boyfriend Jake. We were ready. We sat down at 4:30, watched that game as a family. We were outside, right? Watched the first 3 quarters almost outside. That's
Beautiful.
how
In
beautiful
November.
it was. Yep. We had a fire going. We had the TV going. It was fabulous. And like I said, once St. Brown scored that touchdown, I was like so comfortable because they were going up and down the field. And then the backbreaker for sure, Kirby Joseph at the end of the first half with the interception. Hey, Jordan Love, he's always going to throw an interception. He just threw one that he never should have thrown, and they take it home. That was really the backbreaker. And to see Matt LaFleur on the sideline, how pissed off he was and was cursing at things and throwing his stuff down, he looked a lot wetter than Dan Campbell did for some reason. He looked a lot more uncomfortable than Dan Campbell did. And they go to the commercial breaks on Fox. They do it so well. And you see Dan Campbell after a touchdown, saying, blank, yeah, all of that kind of stuff. It just gives you the chills. This team is so damn good. I'm only mad at one thing, that they had a really bad bump against Tampa Bay. They should be undefeated. Easily undefeated.
Braylon, can I read for you some post-game statistics?
Okay.
Let me give you the stats.
Give me those stats.
But, okay, Lions have started 7-1 for the first time since 1956. They've won 6 straight games in a season for the first time since 1995. Think about that in and of itself. 6-game winning streak, first time since 95.
It's essentially 30 years.
It's essentially 30 years. 3 straight road games in Green Bay. Remember when they were from 2000 to 2000, from what was it, 99
They
to
had 3 wins the whole time.
3-21 or something like that in a 24-year period.
Yeah.
3 straight road wins at Green Bay for the first time since 86, 87, 88. 4 straight road wins in a single season for the 5th time. 1956, 1951, 1934, and 2011. Have produced at least 100 yards rushing and a rushing touchdowns in each of the first 8 games of the season for the first time since 1936. Their point differential of plus 110 is the 4th highest through 8 games in any single season. Guys, this is historic stuff, and it's fun. And when you watch them, again, Bray, they almost make it look so easy. You expect this stuff. This stuff is hard. What they're doing is hard, and they're making it look so easy.
Yeah, they're continuing to make it look easier. Each year they get better and better and better. And last year, at the end of the season, you're looking back and you're like, man, the Detroit Lions, they won 12 games. And, now you have the pundits start to break down the games. Well, the 12 games were against this team, and this team wasn't ready, and that team wasn't ready. At each year, they just get better, and they show you, okay, whatever the conversation or whatever the complaint was about the season and the team and the year before, they get better. They're beating good teams. The Green Bay Packers are arguably the second best team in the NFC going into that game. Maybe them and then maybe the Eagles. Who's a better team between that? They beat them in Green Bay on the road with their starting quarterback and the genius that is Matt LaFleur. They're getting better. And also, whenever there's not this player, hey, there's no this guy, there's no that guy. They find ways to win. Things that they're doing are historic. They're the best team in the NFL, and it's going to be fun to see how the rest of the year shakes out. They're just doing it at every turn. There's nothing you can say about them. They don't have a kicker. Well, they got a kicker now. They can't build on the road. They win on the road. They're a primetime team, and they're consistent. At any point during games when you watch the Lions, do you think they're going to lose a game? There's never a thought in your belly.
Dan Campbell yesterday after the game, they're talking to him, and he just puts it out there. Hey, we're just a little old dome team.
Defensive. Obviously, their offense is tremendous, and all the resources they put into their offensive line, all the resources that they put into the offense over a number of years has made this offense, turned this offense into the best in the league, and I don't think there's any question about that. That offense can go. They can win a high-scoring game. They can win a ground-and-pound game. They can win any kind of game you want to play. They could win it. Defensively is where they needed to get better, and defensively is where they have gotten better. And we're going to talk about trades in just a little bit. Hondo Carpenter, who writes for the Raiders beat writer for SI, will join us coming up top of hour number 2. We'll talk about the latest in what we feel like is one more lob off of a call about Max Crosby. We'll get to that momentarily with Hondo, but you got to create turnovers. And what Kirby Joseph has done almost single-handedly on that defense, he always finds the ball. This guy he has a nose for the ball. Let me just read for you a little bit about Kirby Joseph. First Lions player to have a pick six against Green Bay since 2000. First Lions player to have a pick six at Green Bay since 1979. A first Lions safety to have a pick six at Green Bay since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger. He is the first NFL safety to accumulate 14 interceptions through 3 career seasons since Ed Reed, 2002 to 2004. 14 interceptions, third most by a Lions player since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger. Kirby Joseph, man, definition of ball hawk.
Yeah, 100%. What's happened this season, man, is Kirby Joseph has understood the assignment, and Aaron Glenn has as well. They've studied the film, and they've put him in the necessary positions where he's supposed to be, and they've given him some free range. You see some of the plays that he makes. He's not even on that side of the field to start the play, so he's just coming into his own. And we go back to last week, the conversation. He was already balling this year, but it seems like since the conversation where Aaron Glenn chewed him out on the sideline, he's taken it up a notch. The next play was an interception, and it seems like he's been riding that momentum ever since. Kirby Joseph is – remember, Ryan, when he told you and we asked me, and I was like, but stats are only one thing, and numbers, I said you want to see the complete package. Interceptions are one thing. But now you're starting to see that complete package. He's finishing games, he's finishing plays, and he's always in the right spots as of now. That conversation was huge on the sideline last week, him and Aaron Glenn.
Kirby Joseph with Stacey Dales after the game.
Kirby Joseph, is there any question now who the best team is in the NFC?
Man, hey. 313, hey, one pride, hey, the city, man, Detroit, man, I love y'all. I appreciate it, but y'all know what time it is, man. I just want to say, man, hey, I love the fans, man. Appreciate y'all for coming out, man. I just want to say all glory to God.
Your first pick six in your young career. What was that moment like for you right before halftime?
Hey, it was everything. Like, I was so happy. I ain't even really know much. Like, I didn't really know what to do. I just started screaming. But that's my first career pick six, man. I just want to say, man, all glory to God, and thank you to my teammates, man. I could not do it without y'all, man. Aiden, boy, I love you, boy.
Kirby, how about the reaction of your group after losing Brian Branch to the ejection there in the first half? What did you learn about this group when you lose one of your best defenders?
Man, like I said, man, hey, next man up, man. This team, that's why I love this team, man. We just fight through adversity so much, man. It took a lot to get here, man. We just never stop. You know what I'm saying? We love this, man. So I just want to say shout out to the team, man, because we hold our own today.
You have 14 interceptions since you entered the league in 2022. I know you keep every game ball that you get, every pick. What are you going to do with this one?
This one always going to the crib. You already know that. Hey, it's going to the crib, man. I got a special plan for it, man. I can't tell y'all what it is, but, man, I just want to say, man, all glory to God, man. Just thank you to my team, for real. Like, the coaches and the coaching staff, it's just, I couldn't do nothing without them.
Kirby, you guys kept Jordan Love out of the end zone for nearly the entire game. He scored just at the very end. What do you think about Aaron Glenn and his play call here in Green Bay? This is the third straight victory for the Lions in Green Bay at Lambeau.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, shout out to AG, man. He calls the perfect call to put us in the best position to make plays, man. And I just want to say, man, without him, man, you know what I said, we wouldn't be here today, man. So I just want to say shout out to AG, man. Thank you.
Enjoy this win and get warm.
Yeah, for sure. I'm over here shaking. Appreciate y'all, man.
That was Kirby Joseph with Stacey Dales on the NFL Network after the game. How fun is he, man? You think he's having a good time, Bray?
He's having a super great time, and you can just hear like the authenticity in his voice, man. He's just a guy out there doing his job. He's one of many, man, that are becoming this fist, and it's fun to watch. They love each other. They always give each other the credit. It was great to hear him shout out Aiden Hutchinson, who's one of his fallen warriors that he's supporting through the game in Green Bay. They just play for each other. You know, when you watch this team, everyone that gets pulled to the microphone mask, they're always giving the credit to somebody else, whether it's Khalif Raymond, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, Aiden Hutchinson, Anzalone. Whenever they come to the microphone, let me give my other brother who has as much to do with this as I did, the love. When you see things like that as a team, when you see things like that as an opponent from other teams that are in the scrum, you get nervous because you know that this team is playing together, man. Like, I've been on some teams where we were good teams, but we weren't necessarily together, and you see those teams that you're like, this is going to be a tough one. And the Lions are that team that's together in all cylinders.
I mean, you compare them to a team like, I'll just throw the Yankees in there, and they're just not, you could tell they're just not a cohesive bunch. You got Garrett Cole now opting out so he can make more money. You didn't deserve more money. Anyway, that's besides that. Anyway, when you watch this team, you look at Green Bay. Green Bay is green literally with envy. They had a couple of players chirping. Earlier this week, Xavier McKinney's like, I don't like this team. They like to pile it on teams. Well, they went right at him, and they showed him who the boss was. And I know Stick did a little tweet at him yesterday. And then I forgot the other guy that spoke. He said, the better team didn't win, just the team that executed better.
Yeah.
Really?
Isn't that what better teams do?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? And I saw Matt LaFleur, who I like. He just looks like a jealous little kid looking across the sidelines. No one's beating this team. They might get beat maybe once or twice more in the regular season. I doubt it. They might, but they're winning a Super Bowl.
Man.
And the trade deadline's tomorrow at 4. Let's see what happens.
Maz, doesn't that energy look familiar? It looks very reminiscent. It kind of looks like when Green Bay would do this, and the Lions would have that. The Lions would have those comments, and the Lions players would say certain things like, you know what, Aaron's not necessarily better than Matt. It just was his day. Starting to flip the tide. Going into this game, we talked last week, we said one of the biggest things. This game was an important game because after this one, there could be they called us at the end of Aaron Rodgers. Well, they called us when Jordan Love hasn't ready. Last time we played him, we blew him out. This game was to decide who really was the power in the NFC North, even though the Lions have won the division. Well, now you start to get that stuff. They know who the power is. It feels eerily reminiscent to what Green Bay used to be for years. It's now the Lions.
Hey, were they 2-0 now in the division?
2-0 in the division.
Baltimore,
11-3 the last 3 years.
Chicago has
11-3.
Chicago has not played a division game yet. I don't know what they're waiting on, the NFL, the schedule, but you're going to get a lot at the end of the season.
Trying to get Caleb Williams comfortable before they run through this game.
I'm telling you, this team has got a stranglehold on this division. You get the Texans next week on Sunday night, and we'll see what happens. I think they could beat them.
They're a 3-point favorite in that one already.
3-point favorite. As I said earlier in the year, the most that they'll be an underdog would be 3 points. they're going to be favored in 95% of the games.
I'm watching this, and I understand that the season has to play out, Ryan Ermanni, but I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I don't think it's a far-fetched limb. I think the Lions are shaping up to be the first 16-1 team in NFL history. It is what it is. You watch the games, you see what they are, you see they make the decisions, they make the adjustments at halftime. It's just a damn good team. And you look at the schedule, it's like, who? Who?
Listen,
Who?
listen. If they are healthy, they are not losing again.
Yeah.
They're
not healthy now. They're blowing teams
I know.
out.
I'm just saying. If the Lions are healthy, if Jared Goff stays healthy, Gibbs, St. Brown, these are like they're big guys.
Yeah.
If they stay healthy, they will not lose again. Period. There's just no team in the NFL that is going to go toe-to-toe with them for 60 minutes.
I don't see it.
It's just not happening.
I don't see him.
They are that good. And Maz, I do agree with you. The Lions are winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Who's
And
going
I
to
don't
beat
even
them?
I mean, Philadelphia's playing
Nobody.
good. Washington's
I don't
playing
care.
good. I don't
care.
These are just teams that are close,
Yeah.
that are playing good. I'm just talking about teams that seem like they're playing good. Philadelphia basically hangs on against Jacksonville. You think they're going to beat the Lions?
There's one team, and that's because they have two people. And everybody knows that there's 15 and there's Andy Reid. That's it. And the only reason why the Chiefs are even in consideration is because it's 15 and Andy Reid. Nobody else has a chance against the Lions currently constructed.
You talk about the team that they are. I want to take you inside the locker room. This is Dan Campbell. Just look at this team. Look at this team after the game.
I don't think it matters where we play at. Doesn't matter about the conditions. We knew that coming in here. We didn't want to know if we validated anything. Are we going to validate being able to play in the weather? It doesn't matter, man. That's just the way you're built. It's the way you're built. That's an outstanding win, man. That's 2 division wins. I am unbelievably proud of you guys. That's the way to come in and just ball. That's the way to ball, all right? I got 2 game balls. Number 1, all right, on defense, 4 tackles, 1 huge pick 6. Kirby Johnson.
It's super, man. But I just want to say, man, I appreciate all y'all, man. Could not do this without my team and the coach, man. I just want to say I appreciate y'all and I love y'all, man.
Next one here. All right, on offense, just close the game out. 17 carries, 73 yards, 3 catches, 23 yards. And we talked about at the end, got the first down. We nailed this thing down. David Montgomery.
I wouldn't want to do it with another group of guys, man. I'm grateful and I'm blessed to be here, man. Let's do this thing, man. Let's go all the way. Yes, sir.
Win, man. Break it out.
Get inside, man. Like I said the other day, man, as long as we growing, man. Family on 3, family on me 1, 2, 3. Family.
And another guy that could have got MVP, or excuse me, not MVP, but could have got a game ball was a guy that we talk about. They never mentioned his name, silent assassin. Jack Campbell had 13 tackles again.
You know who really should have gotten one?
Jack Campbell had 13 tackles.
Aaron Glenn.
100%.
Aaron Glenn couldn't even see out of his glasses.
AG put that together. We got to talk about obviously at some
Can I
point.
just help you out with Jack Campbell real quick?
Yeah,
just
go
a
ahead.
quick stat on Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell.
I like the silent assassin. I like
that silent assassin.
10 tackles, 5 solo for the second straight game, and added 3 tackles. There's your 13.
There we go.
On special teams.
My apologies. 13 including special teams.
And you don't hear about it.
No.
No.
And you don't hear about it.
And the one time I did see Jack Campbell, Amik Robertson was chirping.
I saw that.
And Campbell grabbed him and pulled him back. Yep. Use your head. A little bit of leadership out there in between the lines, too. Doesn't hurt anybody.
Listen, when AG a couple of weeks ago lost the best defensive player in the NFC in Aiden Hutchinson, okay, I'm going to use this guy. James Houston got action yesterday. Guys are starting to step up. Hey, let's grab a couple of practice squad players. Now you take Branch away. Okay, Kirby, go in there and be Branch. You keep taking stuff away from Aaron Glenn, and his defense keeps playing out of their minds. And 14 points for the Packers, you know, the last touchdown, that's a giveaway. And those last yards at the end of the game, end of the first half, 30 yards, 40 yards to Jaden Reed, that's all garbage yards. Take 150 yards off of that, what the Packers got yesterday. I know the Packers got over 400 yards yesterday. Really, they got 250 yards. The Lions shut them down.
Can I just say something? You can't hear me? Why can't you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? All right. Can you hear me? All right. Well, hopefully everybody can hear me. You guys talk. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, Braylon,
Yeah, that's fine. Two things. One about Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell was becoming one of the best coaches in the NFL. I mean, he already was that. You can give him that credit before going into the season, just seeing what he's done, but it still was things you want to find. When you're watching Dan Campbell coach in these moments, whether it's Amik Robinson, whether it was following AG when he went to Kirby Joseph last week, nobody talked about that. He's starting to understand not just how to coach his man as a former player, but he's now understanding how to coach as a coach, and it's getting better and better and better. When are we going to tap into the Brian Branch thing? Because I don't want to jump the gun on it, but I have thought on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're definitely let's do it. Let's
so we can save it.
Let's save it because I'm coming up against it here.
Can you hear me now?
No.
The chat says they can hear you.
Yeah, no, the chat can hear me because I was
that's all that matters.
The chat can, go ahead.
You don't have to come to me the rest of the show, but I just wanted to pay you gentlemen a compliment. Because yesterday I said the same thing Braylon said. This is a 16-1 football team. I don't see anybody that can beat us. Ryan, you see it. Braylon, you're an ex-professional athlete. You see it. Maz sees it. I caught so much flack from comments in the post-game show. Anson damn near had an aneurysm because I said that this is possible.
It sounds about right.
But I said, where is the loss? Where does it come from? And he's like, well, we can run down the list. I'm like, but my response to any opponent you throw at me is going to be the same. If the Lions play their game, they win. Period. End of story. So I'm just happy to share this space with like-minded people. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And if I just may say, to stick you through in there, the Lions will win if they play their game. And I guess I would follow up with that. Does anything lead you to believe that this team would not play their game? You know what I mean? After the first 2 games of the season, which were essentially preseason games, because nobody played in the preseason, they have hit on all cylinders. They are who they are. Somebody said today, I was at Fox 2, and I heard this before. I heard this last week. I think even one of the announcers said it last week. Was it Greg Olson? Whoever had the game last week was like, I wouldn't want to be playing so
my
well.
Best football is Amin.
Yeah, was it Adam Amin?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. They're playing too good a football. Save it for the end of the year. You want to play your best football at the end of the year. And I contend.
What did our guest Wayne Larrabee say?
Wayne Larrabee said the same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody at Fox 2 that I was talking to earlier today said, they're playing too good. Do you want to see them play? And the answer is no. They're playing this good because they're the only team in the NFL that has had the same head coach and the same coordinators for 3+ years.
Guess what? They could play better. They can play better.
That's what's scary.
What they did to Dallas, they emasculated Dallas
and took the foot off the gas.
They did, and you lost your best player in that game. Can you imagine? Dak Prescott probably would have been knocked out that game. He's out now. He probably would have been knocked out that game. This team hasn't even played their best yet.
At the end of the day, the reason why the pundits out loud are saying that is because they want to be pundits out loud. It's still the Detroit Lions, and they're trying to find a way to have conversation as opposed to agree with what their eyes see. And the reason why the Detroit Lions fans are saying that is they don't want to jinx it. They're scared. They're nervous. They don't want to jinx it. 16-1. The truth is this: you can use the adage that we always use. Ryan, it's your favorite. Show me the best coach, show me the best quarterback, and I'll show you who's going to win the game. Well, now the best coach and the best quarterback happen to be on the Detroit Lions. So when you go down the list, now you got to operate that way, and it's going to fall on the Detroit Lions the rest of the season.
Let me set up the show for you here. We hit on the game against Green Bay. Let's hit on Brian Branch situation. Let's hit on Zadarius Smith to Detroit situation, which seemed imminent. And then top of hour number 2 in about 30 minutes from now, we're hearing reports that perhaps there is contact between Brad Holmes and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders lost their 5th straight game yesterday. They have fired half of their coaching staff.
Yep. Antonio Pierce, I said we're going to have one.
They have fired half of their coaching staff. We'll talk to Raiders beat reporter Hondo Carpenter in about 30 minutes. Is there any chance of a deal getting done for Max Crosby? So that is going to be about the next hour of the show right there. All Lions, all the time, right here on Woodward Sports. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Where your fitness is essential. And now, fitness that fits into your budget. That's what they're about. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the best gym for you. You come out, you work out, nobody bothers you. It's a judgment-free zone, squeaky clean gym. And here's the kicker. With any membership that you get, there's a trainer attached to it. So you can get in shape, you can feel great, at a price, at a premium, however you want to do it. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
You just did the fitness is essential. Hold on, let me auto. There we go. Well, 1800 Tequila, the official sponsor for the post-game show. Can you hear me, Ryan, yet? No, I fixed it. All right, the bus B was out over on this end. Audio booth issues, having fun with it today. 1800 Tequila, they never have issues because it's so smooth. It's delicious, and it's what you need to get you through that game day. Plus, they got that new 1800 official bottle with the Lions logo on it. You saw it at Hayes Social yesterday. Come on through for the pregame, watch party, and postgame this Sunday, live at Hayes Social with 1800.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Well, Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000 right off the top, gang. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242. If you want to get them online, it's markwhitesells.com. Again, that phone number, Mark White and Associates, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, enjoy a $20 haircut special. Scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Just scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
They've been really playing well the last handful of weeks, and it's been fun to be on the other side of that and to get short fields and pick six. Like in that weather, I was talking about, like to get a defensive touchdown is huge.
Want to thank QBall93 Super Chat. Y'all called me crazy when I said the Lions would need only 15 points to beat Green Bay in the fill in the blank segment. Well, I didn't think you were crazy, and you certainly don't look crazy now, Q-Ball93. Thanks so much for that. Jared Goff talking
Is that his
about
real name?
Talking about the Lions defense there, and I'll tell you this much. It was a Lions defense that was already playing without Aiden Hutchinson, playing without Josh Paschal, playing without Marcus Davenport, and playing without Brian Branch. One of the most egregious ejections I've ever seen. I can't remember a time where a targeting penalty in the NFL kicked somebody out of the game. And to have it come from New York, I don't know if anybody was watching the Rams game yesterday.
I did.
But on the final drive, the Rams defender hit the Seattle wide receiver. The exact same scenario, exact same hit, and they picked up the flag.
Mm-hmm.
There was no difference. Side A, side B. Take the helmets away from it. It's the same exact play. One play got the player ejected. The other play, they picked up the flag.
One game was nationally televised. The other one was watched by just Seattle and L.A. and Orange County. That was it. That's the difference, Rye, I believe. I believe they wanted to stick Brian Branch and the Lions. He might get suspended, which would be a complete sin. And he hit him mostly with the shoulder. Sure, it wasn't a launch. He didn't launch himself at the guy. He shouldn't have hit him with his helmet. And he never will do that again. AG grabbed him. That ain't going to happen again. But there's no way he gets thrown out of that game. That was really bad.
This is my thoughts on the situation. I don't believe he'll be suspended past the last game or the game that he missed. He won't be suspended more than that. Just my assumption. For Lions fans, look, you've been catching all the breaks. You've been catching all the breaks for the last 2 years. This is a situation you're not supposed to do this. And from the NFL standpoint, they want to set a tone. This is an opportunity to set a tone. This is a nationally televised game. The NFL has gotten away from what it used to be, hence why you bring in more sponsors, more dollars. It's advertised as a more safe-looking game. Then you have a hit like this where the ball clearly was out. It's a bam-bam play, but you had enough time to make a better decision. So the NFL, they stepped in. They made it a mark. So you see what not to do. Brian Branch is a young player. There'll be other players watching. This is what you don't do. They set the tone. You move on. I don't think he'll get multiple games. I think he's done. But as I relates to watching him, just as an analyst or just as a team, I actually like it. I wouldn't do it more than once, but it tells me, Maz, he cares about the rivalry. The rivalry is Green Bay. The rivalry is Detroit. I want my stars to care about the rivalry. I want my stars to care about the division. Obviously, you see the double bird at the end. He knows that the Green Bay
30 yards and penalties on that play.
100%. Now, this is unexcusable moving on, but in that moment, Dan Campbell played for the Lions. Dan Campbell knows what the Green Bay rivalry is. You remember Aaron Rodgers chirping at the lady from the Chicago Bears?
Yeah.
There's a rivalry, and I want my players to understand what the rivalry is. That's why I loved what I played in Michigan. I understood what the rivalry was. The better your players understand the rivalry, they come to play in those games. Moving forward, this was your one, Brian. Like, if I'm Dan Campbell, this was your one. Like, and also because it's against Green Bay is why I'm not so angry, and I said this is your one. If you're playing on the road against the Chargers, you don't care about the Chargers. If you're on the road against the Texans, the Titans, any other team, it doesn't matter. This one's a little personal. This is Green Bay. This is in Detroit. This is his one. I don't have a problem with it.
No doubt about it. They're going to need some help defensively, guys. NFL trade deadline day, Tuesday, November 5th at 4 p.m.
So 24 and a half hours from now.
They've got to make a move. Yesterday it was reported that a deal for Zadarius Smith was imminent. Let's just start there. Zadarius Smith. I say Zadarius Smith. Braylon, you say what?
He's a playmaker. You look at each of the last years, he's had 9 or more sacks, 12 and a half last year, 13, and then 9 the year before that. He's a guy that gets to the quarterback. He's a guy that helps this team out. You need a monster like Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith is one of the guys. Remember when he was leaving Minnesota? It was when we were first starting to do this show. It was 2021. He was leaving Minnesota.
Did he go to the Pack?
Nah, he went to Baltimore.
Okay.
He ended up going to Baltimore, and then he went to where he is Cleveland. So we wanted him back then. He's still been productive since then. He's a guy that won't cost you a ton. The trade option from him, you won't have to give a lot to get, and you can get production out of him right away. I think it's a good move.
9 pressures yesterday, which puts him second. Pressures That was Hutchinson's middle name until he became a sack artist. Pressures. But if you get a guy like this, just the way he affected the Browns, and I have a piece of audio here for you, a piece of video from the Browns locker room. I guess guys were going around saying, hey, this might be Zadarius Smith's last game with you. He might be heading to the Lions. Listen to his teammates, what they said about him.
He's my brother, man. Like, he means a lot. Like, everybody's going to feel it. Like, if he's leaving here, it's going to hurt, He means a lot. He gets back there. He brings a lot of energy. He's one of the leaders of our defense. But I wish nothing but the best for him, Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough losing a guy like that.
Leader. He's a guy that always brings energy, a guy that always gets everybody together. You're going to get the same Zadarius every single day, win or lose. So he definitely brings us a lot of energy. And that's a guy, like I think that I'll know him for a long time after football. So he definitely means a lot to us.
Zadarius is an amazing teammate for our team, and a captain on his team, a leader on his team, and a playmaker out there on the field. So love having Zadarius on the field with me. That was one of my favorite additions to the team when he came on. So like I say, he's a great player and a great guy in the locker room. And definitely appreciate Zadarius, the player he is and the guy he is.
It's been a lot, man, savvy vet. So thankful, to play side of him. Hopes he's still here with us, man. But I feel like he gave us everything he did. I mean, he gave us everything, came in, being the same guy every day, being vocal, bringing the energy, man. I'm just, he's a big brother, is a big brother, and I would know him for a long time after football.
It's definitely sad, you work hard with guys and you just never know where they're going to end or what happens, just because the team odds is right now. But, it's not my business, so, I can only just do my job.
And that'll be the last part of the job resume for Zadarius Smith as it relates to what Brad Holmes is looking for to bring in your pass rusher. I mean, you have conversation like this. Ryan, I've been on teams where it sucks. Like, guys don't want to say anything to help another guy out. And a lot of times, guys, what they do, as opposed to get commented, they just say no comment. Right. So we don't want to talk about it. Say, hey, look, that's an ongoing matter or whatever it is. You just say no comment. All these guys took the chance to help him in his next job or to help him get to Detroit or get wherever it's going on. It says a lot about a guy. And, we've talked about over and over and over the character of guys, how they lead in the locker room and how they are on the field and the energy that they're giving. That's what Brad Holmes and that's what Dan Campbell, that's what they care about the most. And it just sounds like I heard a Detroit Lions type player. That's what it sounded like.
No doubt about it. Let me ask you just about Zadarius Smith overall. Why is he about to play for his third team in a year and a half? Mm-hmm. That's the one thing about him that gives me a little bit of pause here. That he's going to be seen as this savior.
He is their captain, though.
I understand. I'm just asking the question. I full disclosure, I really don't know much about Zadarius Smith other than 32, three-time Pro Bowler, good player, opposite Myles Garrett, been within the division, but he's about to played for the Vikings, played for the Packers, played for the Browns. So essentially this would be his fourth team in 2 years.
It's just about how the league is constructed as it relates to money. If you look at when he was in Minnesota and he was coming out, they had another guy by the name of what, Maz? Danielle Hunter. So they didn't need to extend Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith slightly older, wasn't necessarily as good as Danielle Hunter was going to be. So if you're the Minnesota Vikings, you're not going to pay Zadarius Smith and then pay Danielle Hunter. He goes to Baltimore for a one-year deal, kind of figured out Baltimore isn't in the business necessarily paying guys that they don't draft, if you will. So you look, that was an easy move. They let him go. He goes to Baltimore for a one-year contract to figure it out. And then these last 2 years, he's found a home with the Cleveland Browns next to Myles Garrett. I don't think it's a three-team concern to why has this guy left the team? What are we really not knowing about his play or his injuries or things like that? I just think it's kind of how the market came up. You got a Danielle Hunter. You're not going to pay Zadarius, and Danielle Hunter's about to give you, 19 sacks he had the last 2 years in Minnesota. So I think that's how that one played out. Did a one-year try with the Baltimore Ravens, and they didn't necessarily do that much. So here we are with the Cleveland Browns, and where he's had production.
Hey, man, them losing yesterday to the Chargers, and hats off to Harbs. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it. But Jameis turned into a pumpkin real quick, as we thought he would. And that's got to help. These teams that thought they might have a chance, by them losing yesterday, they realized, hey, man, look at the Raiders. I don't know what they were even holding on to, what they were even thinking about. but they are the worst team in the NFL, and they just cut 3 coaches, including their OC, today. And we're going to have Hondo on here in just a bit talking Raiders. And why are you holding on to a Max Crosby? Why? You have no chance. I heard that they might even go after Anthony Richardson now. Maybe they're going to wake up and realize we don't have a quarterback. We haven't had a quarterback in years. Maybe they should have held on to Derek Carr, even though he's not been good. But you know what? These teams, man, they have no shot in hell. If they look at a team like the Lions from a different conference, what harm is it to send them the players that you want that'll put this team over to win a Super Bowl? Meanwhile, they're going to stockpile you with picks and maybe a player or two.
Because when you don't understand what you're doing, when you don't understand how a team works and how you get better and, you know, what the moves are, sometimes you got to part ways with guys. When you don't understand that, you do things like that. They don't understand that, you know what, even though Max Crosby is your most popular player, he's your best player and one of the better players, you don't have it right now. You don't have what it's going to take, and what it's going to take is picks. It's going to take money. It's going to take unloading money, but you don't see that because all you hear is popularity. They are bad run franchises, and that's why they're sitting there. When's the last time the Raiders went to playoffs?
Well, they snuck in with Pasaccia.
Oh, Pasaccia.
Yeah, but they're far from that team.
Yeah.
They have by the time they're ready, Max Crosby will be ready to retire.
This is true.
What are you doing?
Right. So
maybe Myles Garrett instead of Zadarius Smith. You don't know what's happening.
But even Myles Garrett, like, you know, one of the things that the NFL is so different on now is just the way you get good. I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. The Lions have truly exhibited, and I think Goff has a lot to do with it, just Goff being part of this trade. But the Lions are literally living proof that if you accumulate draft capital, how quick you can get good if you have a competent organization. It's incredible what they've done so fast. They have turned this roster over completely in a 3-year period. Now, again, Goff, right? But let's just say, look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's playing really good football. Sam Darnold is going to probably be the best free agent quarterback on the market next year. Do you think you would be able to either sign or acquire Sam Darnold and do kind of a Lions-type rebuild with a guy like Sam Darnold if you had 8 draft picks over the next 3 years?
Yeah. It's not about the number of draft picks. Like we can go back to the Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra, St. Brown draft. I mean, you got 4 viable starters out of that. That's revamping your whole team. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that will draft, and they may get one solid contributor.
Lions for years did that.
Exactly. How many second-round picks never made the roster? I mean, that used to be the joke. Well, you know, they're never going to play past 4 years here because you're never getting that 5th-year option. But Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown anchoring that draft is an insane leap forward because you essentially got 2 elite first-round picks with the snap of a finger.
Right.
Yeah, 100%, man. The Lions, the draft, it's still crazy. Still a bizarre world that we're living with.
And again, it really all starts with Goff, and they were chanting his name yesterday. Here's what Goff had to say. Here's what Goff had to say about his name being chanted at Lambeau Field. Huh?
It's so funny. You can tell that he's such a shy, humble guy that you can tell, like, love like that makes him awkward. And that's always, but it's fun to see because that's when you know you got a guy that he doesn't care about any of that. All he cares about is winning. But when you get emotional, it's kind of cool.
Well, I like him saying a fan base that travels. Guess what? We never did before the last 2
you're
years.
You're part of that, buddy.
Right?
You'd go to be like, oh, I just want to see historic Lambeau Field, and I've been there. You know, you never went to be a Lions fan because you knew you were going to get clowned the whole game no matter what stadium you were in. Now, they travel because of you, Jared Goff. You did this.
It's funny you say that. One of my friends, you guys know him, Dave Logan, comes here from time to time. 100% shout out to D. Logan. He's been traveling with the Lions since, I want to say, last year and the year. He made basically. He's been to their last 8 away games, and they're 8-0.
Wow.
Since he's going, and he says he's just gonna keep going and keep
going, Dave.
Lions have fans that if you watch how he works the schedule to get to the Lions games and what he has to do in the booking process and things, none of that matters. That part is easy for him because you know the product that they're going to see on the field. As you see, the Lions fans took over Green Bay yet again. So you got fans that are going to do whatever they have to do to get to those places, to get to those stadiums, and give you that love and give you that support, man. When you win, that's what you get. That's what you deserve.
Crack Man is at every game. Megan Stefanski from the UP at every single game. The Uper. It's great, man.
And what people are missing is this isn't just for us fans. This is for generations of fans. This is for my dad who never got to see this, my grandpa who never got to see this. Like when people are going, those are the sentiments that's happening. Like I get to watch winning football in Lambeau. Me and my dad never got to do this. So it's a generational thing that I don't think people understand what it means to our souls as fans.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. And even to the point, over a 25-year period, they were like 3-21 or something like that, 3-22. You play there once a year. You know, I mean, it's like 3 wins in a quarter century. It just absolutely doesn't work out like that.
Hey, back in '96, one of my first events that I was able to cover, and Chuck Swirsky said, "Hey, Maz, you want to cover the Lions in Green Bay?" I'm like, "Oh my God, hell yeah, Swirsky!" And my wife at the time was my fiance. She was at Northern Michigan University up in the UP. So I bought her a ticket, bought my other 2 friends, Joe and Nicole, a ticket, and I had my credential. I went up to the UP, and we all drove up to Lambeau Field in the snow. I get there, Barry Sanders still part of the team, and they got whitewashed, of course. But it was a great experience. But those days are over, man. We're not going there to be fodder. We're going there. We're taking over. It's Lions Bowl Field now. It's not Lambeau Field. We could go anywhere. This team could go anywhere. San Francisco, it don't matter. We're going to come and we're going to take over. That's it.
Jared Goff spoke with Aaron Andrews after the game, talking about taking over, right? I mean, Jared Goff, the old dome team. We're made for domes. Here's what he had to say with Aaron.
You got to appreciate that Tom Brady-sized chip on his shoulder. But he keeps it in a healthy way. It's a healthy chip. A lot of times players have chips on their shoulder and it gets them in bad situations because now they're trying to do it by themselves and overly prove. He has a healthy chip and he does it within the game and within the lines. I forgot the next point I was going to make, but the underdog thing. That's one thing. Lions have a unique situation where even though, Lions are 7-1, even though they're the best offense that you've seen in 25 years or so, there's always something they can't do. And Jared Goff hit the nail on the head. You can't play outside. You're the dome team, or you don't have a kicker, or you don't have Aiden Hutchinson. You can't rush the pass. There's always something. They're always pushing to go. So it helps the Lions stay focused. They don't get to go through the week and just beat a team, oh, yeah, we're better than you, and everybody's tooting our horn. Because there's always something they're saying that the Lions can't do or the Lions haven't proven. So going into each week, in each game, they still feel like they're having to prove themselves. And I think that underdog mentality, they're still the underdogs because of the Detroit Lions that haven't won the Super Bowl versus a team that you can just believe your eyes on what you see. They're pummeling everybody. They still got that underdog mentality.
As I said on Friday, I said, they're the bad boy. No one likes this team. Yet, the fans all love this team. Right. The NFL themselves,
I think they like the Lions. They like the Lions. They like the Lions.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're getting called out by players.
Okay.
You're running up this. You're doing this. All these trick plays. Oh, you're going to go on 4th down again. You're going to fake this. They're doing everything that us Monday morning quarterbacks have been wanting to do our entire lives.
Right.
It's like they're playing a video game.
Well, you saw LaFleur on that 4th down
when
Jahmyr Gibbs scored the touchdown. He gave him the old F-U
Yeah.
under
Right.
his breath.
Pissed.
And he was upset about it. And the best part about that is you can tell Dan Campbell coaching the way Dan Campbell does. And listen, I am not the biggest fan of some of those 4th down calls.
Yeah,
but I still love Dan Campbell. I'm okay with it.
Right.
It drives me nuts, but I'm okay with it, right? But like other coaches see that, and then I feel like it puts pressure on them to try to be that for their team.
Especially if it's working.
Yeah, it's like you're jealous of the guy hitting on your girl, so you buy the same outfit or something. And now LaFleur's trying to go for it on 4th down. That's not how you're built.
You got the same outfit, but you don't know how to wear it.
There it is.
But you don't know how to wear it.
That's exactly it. LaFleur, you're not the Lions. Quit trying to be us. And it's awesome that people are trying to be the Lions and we're not trying to be somebody else.
Yeah,
listen, man, just a couple of minutes here on Brady. Tom Brady.
He's getting better.
No, he's not. He's not. He's getting worse, actually. He's totally unprepared.
He didn't get in trouble this week.
All he does is when Kevin Burkhardt says, oh, yeah, that was a good play. It's like, oh, yeah, that was a good play. And he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no idea what he's doing. And then you heard Adam Amin and Greg Olsen do the game prior, the Falcons against the Cowboys. And Greg Olsen is drawing stuff up as the plays are going on, explaining what they should have did, what they could have done. It's night and day. And I know you want to give the guy a chance, but he is overmatched. I'm sorry. Totally overmatched. To me, the new number one team is Adam Amin and Greg Olsen.
They're so good.
Yeah. They're good.
They are so good. Did you catch the flack about Brady, by the way,
I
about
did.
the Branch play?
That. Here it is.
Here, do we have that audio?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is just it. Anyway, so Brian Branch gets tossed, and Brady, he's the part owner of the Raiders now.
Yep.
So one of the stipulations, he cannot criticize the officials. Well, he says, well, I don't love that call, and he goes and he quickly pivots to analyzing the play and all that stuff, but he will not be disciplined by the league. And he shouldn't be, by the way.
No, of course not.
And he shouldn't be.
Of course not.
Yeah,
I'm just saying he's overmatched.
Yeah. He's not good at this. He's not good at this. I'm there now. He's not good at this job.
Yeah, you guys
he can get better, but
you guys are always about the announcers, the analysts. Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
I was just gonna say I was just gonna wrap it up, but if you got a thought on.
No, I was gonna say, like, you guys were talking about the analysts so much that I watched Amin and I watched Greg Olsen. That Cowboys-Falcon game was not a good game. It was very average. It was kind of boring at the most part, but I was able to stay tuned in because of how good they were.
Right. All right, guys. Hondo Carpenter on the line, Raiders beat reporter for Sports Illustrated. We'll get to him next, but first a message from Dr. Pierce.
All right, Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine. Do not miss Dr. Jeff Pierce. He's with us every Tuesday on Big D Energy. Joins us here on Thursdays. Trust the man at DMAC and Braylon Trust. Heck, we all trust him and we love him. MichiganSportsandSpine.com. Dr. Jeff Pierce, 248-426-9944. And if you ever thought about volunteering but you didn't know where to, well, the holiday season's coming. I already have the Christmas commercials are on. Sirius Satellite. Ring the bell. Here we go. There it is, guys. You know it. It's Christmas time already. Yes, it's the November 4th, and it's Christmas. Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. You want to visit registertoring.com and sign up for shifts. You've got an option. You can sign up for a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site outside a store or outside Kroger or whatever. Or you can participate at home, a virtual bell ringing shift. You could do that right away and start making money. Traditional bell ringing begins this Friday, November 7th, runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. For more information and how to sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com. The Salvation Army, guys.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
I love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full-line merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed-out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. Stick is in the house. Pete Spivak is here as well. Trade deadline day in the NFL, 4 p.m. on Tuesday, November 5th. It is election day for some. It is Christmas for other teams in the NFL that want to go shopping, on a little shopping spree. Your Detroit Lions are one of those teams. Let me get Hondo Carpenter in. Oh, we don't have Hondo. Oh, he froze. Okay. So we'll try to reconnect with Hondo Carpenter momentarily. But I do think there is potential movement here. I know what was said, not from Al Davis, from Mark Davis, that he will not trade Max Crosby. I just don't know what the reason is for hanging on to these players for losing teams. Like, what would be the reason to hang on to Max Crosby if you're the Raiders? You're not selling any.
I mean, the fans of the Raiders, they left him in Oakland.
Right.
These are Vegas fans. These are people that
There's
are
no
flying
home field
in from out of
advantage
town.
for the Raiders.
There really isn't.
It's the biggest road
black hole's
attraction.
gone.
It's the biggest road attraction for every opponent that goes into Vegas. That's what they're up against.
It is.
So we'll talk to Hondo about that. If we get him, great. If not, in the meantime, let's go around the NFL, shall we?
Okay. We can go around the NFL.
Do you want to do that? I mean, this is what I would do there anyway. Do you not want to do that?
No, we're good. Yeah.
Okay, we have Hondo. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Hondo, let me bring you in now. How you doing, buddy?
Day I get to talk to you, Ryan, and my favorite Wolverine, Braylon Edwards. It's a good day for me. My mother always says to me, Braylon is too handsome to be a Wolverine.
Well, then what'd she say about me?
No, actually, you want to know something, Ryan? I got to tell you, she genuinely really loves you and appreciates you. She always says that you're absolutely a Wolverine, but you're not a homer, and she respects you for that.
Oh, thank
She don't
you
know
so
him
much,
very well
Hondo.
then.
No, I like to call it like I see it.
Sure you do.
Hondo, let's go. So listen, we hear that Brad Holmes is lobbing off one more call to the Raiders for Max Crosby. A, do you believe that's the case? And B, is there any chance whatsoever, despite Mark Davis coming out a couple of weeks ago saying we will not trade Max Crosby, is that even a remote possibility?
First of all, I appreciate you asking me. I'm the one that broke the story, and this was several weeks ago, that it was not happening in any way. I mean, Max even told me, you probably heard the quotes. I mean, he's tatted all over his body with Raiders stuff. I'm the one that broke about he's not going anywhere. There's no chance. But to Brad Holmes' credit,
laser removal.
He is like the guy who just keeps asking the girl out and she keeps saying no. I got to tell you, being from Michigan, I'm so proud of the job he's done, the respect he has. And he is probably going to call 1 minute after the break to just say, hey, did you get that paperwork in, and just forget to tell me. He's going after him. They want him. I don't blame him. I think he's the best defensive player in the National Football League. Isn't even at the top of his prime yet. He is an elite player. Now, I'm going to tell you this because I'm very close to Max. I've known him since I was in Michigan, because I used to have his coach, Chris Creighton, on my radio show every week. So I've known him since he was a freshman. He's an elite player. He's a future Hall of Famer, and he absolutely loves the Lions. And so if the Raiders were to trade him and they came to him and said, where would you want to go? It would be Detroit, but he doesn't want to go. He has no desire to leave the Raiders, and the Raiders have no desire to get rid of him at all. So he's not going anywhere.
And that's Hondo, that's totally fair. And I trust your reporting more so than anybody's out there right now, especially when it comes to this situation. If you're the Raiders, why would you keep Max Crosby?
That's a great one. For a couple of reasons. First of all, He's a guy that right now I think you can make an argument he's 1A or 1B as the best defensive player in the National Football League with TJ Watt. I think he's 1A. I think some other people, and I don't have that opinion because he's my friend. I have that opinion based on talking to other general managers just because of some things he does, how much meat there still is on the bone with him, maybe more than TJ Watt. But second of all, he's not even in his prime yet. Number two, there are 35 to 40 guys every single day at the Raider facility in the offseason working out, and that's all because of him. So it's like Izzo says, when your best player is your hardest worker, it really is a unique mix. He is a guy that does every charity event in the city. He's there every single day at the facility, 360 days a year. And I purposely left him out because he does take a 5-day vacation. But he's there every day. The guys follow him. They love him. I mean, last year he had such an infection on his leg that they told him you shouldn't play. And if you do, and the infection bursts, you're going to have your leg amputated. And he looked at the doctor and said, okay, I'm playing. We're in the playoff hunt. And that's just what he does. He goes, when you're captain of the Raiders and you're in the playoff hunt, if you can get on the field, you get on the field. He's the antithesis of Davante Adams, the complete opposite. He's the consummate professional. And I would tell you this, if I'm Mark Davis, the only person I would trade him for is Patrick Mahomes. And if I was any other team in the NFL, I would be calling every day to see if he's available. He's just that big of a game changer. And then when you look at his story of his decision to become sober and how he went through that and all of the kids that he's helped, I can't tell you the number of kids who have alcohol and drug addiction issues that his foundation has helped get clean. And he is the perfect representative. I tell people this, he is an outspoken Barry Sanders. And I mean, I thought Barry was great. I think people sometimes wished he would have been a little bit more of a leader, a little bit more vocal. He is a lot like Chris Spielman, and with no disrespect to Chris, he's as talented as Barry Sanders.
Wow. Hey, Hondo, great having you on here. We miss you here in town. I got a question for you. And I was a Raider fan growing up. I mean, how do you not love the silver and black? Kenny Stabler's my guy, the whole 9 yards. This ain't the same Raiders. When they moved to Vegas, they left the black hole, to me, back in Oakland and then a part of it in L.A. Vegas, to me, does the home crowd really, is it Raiders fans or is it mostly people from out of town paying a lot of money to go to this Broadway show called the NFL?
Well, Maz, first of all, I think that's a great question. It's always good to see you, my friend. But let me just tell you that when they did a survey of NFL fans and asked if you could visit one away game, where would you want to go? 90% responded Vegas.
Of course.
It's a place that the Super Bowl is there and everything comes there, and you can't even tell living here. I mean, it's just the city's built for this. And so everybody wants to come. There's always a market for it. There's always a market for those tickets because it doesn't matter what the team is. Their fans want to come to Vegas because there's so much to do. Now, let me just say this. I'm a native Michigander.
Yep.
I love Detroit. But a lot of people, think about this. If you're living in Dallas or you're living in Carolina and your team is a road game, do you want to go to Detroit? Now, I think Detroit's a great place to go. I would pick Detroit. Or do you want to go to Vegas where you can catch a show, where you got the finest restaurants in the world, the finest plays, everything else? I mean, it's just that type of a city. And so, yeah, when they're winning, and they have had a few of those situations since they've made the move, it's a big Raider crowd. But when it's not, I'll give you an example. I have a friend who's a doctor, and he has 4 seats. And he sold his seats the other weekend for the Kansas City Chiefs game for $28,000 total, $7,000 a seat.
Yep.
And I mean, he's like, it paid for my seats, and he's already paid off his PSL. So when they're not winning, they sell their seats, and there's a huge market. I know a guy who his wife has a job. He quit his because he makes so much selling his tickets and stays home and watches the kids. So he has a full-time job selling his tickets and still is able to be home. So, yeah, it's a little bit different. because teams want to travel. I remember years ago when the Motor City Bowl got going and everyone complained, nobody wants to go to Detroit in December. And I said, well, come here and you'll want to be here, because I love Detroit and I love it. And I think it's a great city and people just had to learn. But Vegas, I mean, the weather's perfect. I mean, it's perfect all the time. I swim year round. And now out here they pretend and act like it's cold. But I'm sorry, when it's 62 degrees on Christmas Day, I'm going to take my fat rear and jump in the water and enjoy it. They play golf all year round, and people love the weather. And so, yeah, it's the place to go. But when they're winning, Raider fan does show up.
I understand that, but you answered my question. So they really don't have home field. So I'm just going to – that's a side note. Why would a player of his caliber want to stay and play for this team?
I will tell you this, growing up in Michigan, and you know the respect I have for the Lions, we cheered for the Lions whether they won or lost. It was almost like the Cubs for most of my life. People who cheered for the Cubs, they were the lovable losers. And one thing about Raider fan is they know the game. I got stopped in a grocery store one time and a lady in her 80s lecturing me about how the left tackle, she could tell when it was a pass based on how his hand rested on the ground. They're super smart. They know the game. The legacy, the tradition is absolutely amazing. Max loves the game. Max loves the fans. They've totally embraced them. And so why do they want to be there? Because it is a special place. It's the #1 practice facility in the NFL. It's the #1 stadium. There's no state income taxes, not trying to get in the way of politics, but that's a fact when you're dealing with people who are wealthy. Yep. There's no state income taxes. The weather's perfect. So there's a lot of reasons. A lot of people like that, the West Coast life without having to live in California. And so there's a lot of things about it that they love. And again, it goes back to, it is, and I do give them credit for this, an absolutely amazing fan base.
Hey, Hondo, what's going on, man? Always good to talk to you, my friend. What's new in your world, man?
Good to talk to you, my man.
Everybody's good, man. You know, my mom always enjoys when you come on here as well.
I was going to say, you better hug Mama for me. I love your mama.
100%. My question is not about the free agency or Max Crosby and the wheel that keeps turning. It's more so about what is the perception of the Lions around the country? Because we're sitting here thinking about, you know, Brian Branch gets taken out of the game now. Like, is the perception about the Lions, is it still, you know, America's darling story of a team that was horrible and now they're coming into their own? Or is it starting to get a little annoying and the Lions are becoming annoying? They're becoming one of those teams that people are starting to love to hate. Where is the outside world with the Detroit Lions?
Well, first, let me tell you that Antonio Pierce thanks you for the kind words you said on my show about him, and he told me the next time I see you, I got to give you a hug. So I just want you to know Antonio's got all the love for you. I'm going to tell you, I have people all over the country, Raider fans, and let me tell you how big the Raider Nation is. I've traveled to 22 states for meetups with Raider fans. I'm going to be going my first international in May in Scotland, going over there meeting 100 Raider fans. They're everywhere, and nearly, I would say 90% of the time, because they all know I'm from Michigan, everyone wants to talk about the Raiders. Dan Campbell is an absolute, I mean, players love him. I can't tell you how many NFL players have said to me, hey, have you heard, is Dan Campbell really the way we hear about him? I'm like, yeah, he is. Brad Holmes, universally accepted. And I'm going to tell you something I thought was really funny. The other day, ESPN wrote a very good story, and it was a good story and a legit story about people wanting to go play in for the Commanders. I remember being a beat reporter covering the Lions when they had to overpay to get free agents. Everybody wants to play in Detroit now. They want to play for Dan Campbell. They want to play for Brad Holmes. They love the franchise. And they are absolutely, they are respect. I predicted them to go to the Super Bowl and win it this year. I stand by that. I believe that's going to happen. I just think right now the Lions have all of it. And the thing that they have is the genuine coach that the players love, but they respect. I was talking to a Detroit Lion player. I'm not going to tell you who because he didn't give me permission. It was us just talking. And I said to him, tell me what it is about Dan Campbell. He goes, I don't want to let him down. He knows my kids' names. He knows my parents. He knows, my family. He told me a story about his aunt was sick, and Dan Campbell every day, how's your aunt? What's going on with your aunt? He couldn't even believe he knew. He goes, I love that Dan's there for us. He goes, but he's got the ability to tell you to go to hell and look forward to the trip. And he said, we love him. And it was genuine. It was off the record. He knew I was a Lion. I grew up a Lions fan. And he just said, he goes, we love Dan. And I think Dan is that rare mix of coaches that is a player's coach, but he is also a disciplinarian. And the guys, they don't fear him, like a Bill Belichick. They fear disappointing him. And I think that's even better. You saw guys turn on Belichick quickly. These guys don't. Your guys want to be there. Another guy, shout out to Amir Robinson. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I love Amir. When he signed, I texted him and go, you're going to absolutely love it. And all he sent me was no doubt already. Amir is a wonderful man. And you're seeing guys, they don't even want to test the market. Okay, the Lions want me. I want to be a Lion. And then you guys got a good deal on Amir. And you're going to get a lot more. Guys want to be in Detroit. They want to play for Brad. They want to play for that family now. Shout out to Sheila and the job she's done. They want to play for Dan Campbell. The best thing that happened to the Lions, and I wrote about this in Sports Illustrated, almost every team that's been on Hard Knocks, it's hurt them. It helped the Lions, and everybody wants to be a Lion. I can't tell you the number of free agents that I talk to. And I say, give me your top 2 or 3. And last year I talked to 62 free agents, and 60 of them had the Lions in their top 2.
It's amazing. It's just a complete turnaround from anything we remember about this organization growing up. Hey, Hondo, last one for you. I can't let you out of here without asking you a Michigan State question. I know you're still dialed in up there in East Lansing. Jonathan Smith, everybody good with the track of the program there? On an incline, everything all good in East Lansing?
If you are not on the Jonathan Smith train, you need to just go jump on Indiana's. I mean, what this guy has done, he purposely got, guys with some youth. He's brought in guys with youth. I mean, I love Aiden Childs, but if this was year 5 of Jonathan Smith's program, he wouldn't even be playing right now. And, Signetti, who I think is a great coach at Indiana, this is not a slam on him. He went and got a bunch of older guys, and I'm already hearing of one school that's going to be taking the Brinks truck up. I don't think he'll be there next year unless Indiana does what they've never done and opens the Brinks truck. I think he went for let's take the quick turnaround and get out of here, which I don't blame him. But I hope Indiana pays him because I want him to be there. I think he's a great coach. Jonathan Smith has done every single thing right. I can tell you it's the best combination in hockey, football, and basketball Michigan State has had since Nick Saban was here. I absolutely love what Jonathan Smith's doing. And let me say, I was the one who recommended him when people at Michigan State reached out to me because I was singing his praises almost immediately after Mel Tucker, that utter disaster. And thank God he's gone. But no, I'm not only on the Jonathan Smith train, I'm driving the damn thing.
Good stuff, Hondo. We really appreciate it, man. Check Hondo out, Sports Illustrated Raiders. My friend, thanks so much for joining us on short notice. We appreciate
it. Thanks, Hondo.
Max Crosby staying a Raider.
Allegedly.
All right, talk to you later.
All right,
care,
thanks, Hondo.
All right, Hondo.
Good stuff there, guys. All right, good stuff. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL, check out our pick segment as well.
I got cheated again.
How did we do with it? I didn't even look, by the way.
We all did pretty well.
Okay, all right, very good.
Cheated,
but first, the message.
Your Colts picks suck, though.
Oh, man, they almost had for half.
Yeah, okay.
But first, the message from our pregame show here, Woodward and Maine.
Good job by the Bears.
Start your Sunday with us, Woodward and Maine. Terry Foster, Matt Broder, 8 a.m. to 9. Woodward and Maine. Get you all the latest insider information brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Then stick around for the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show. I believe 6 to 8 this weekend.
Yeah, there's an audible on the pregame show this week because it's a late game. Prime time.
Late game
8:30.
Sunday Night Football. This week only 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Hayes Social.
Yeah, we're switching it up. We're doing
Absolutely.
the whole damn day from Hayes.
Pre-game show, watch party, post-game show, all from Hayes Social. That's this week. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local long drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Into any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Football season and wings and football go hand in hand, and the new place to get the wings happens to be at Soroki's. Get the signature wings at Soroki. 7 new flavors, the best one being lemon pepper, in my humble opinion. But all of them are fire, man. By the way, the Buffalo is fire, no pun intended on that one. It's a limited time offer, so you got to get them now because they won't be here soon. So go check them out. But they still have the crispy chicken for you. Come in for the fresh crispy chicken, the pizza, and then the salads and the sides. Soroki's were real fans' favorite. Got to make some money. You know what time it is. You come to Caesar Sportsbook, the sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Look, what if I told you you can bet up to $1,000, and if that bet didn't hit or those bets, you get your money back. That's here at Caesars. You get the money back in bonus bets, but you got to use the promo code, and that is Woodward1000. Once again, Woodward, all caps, 1000. Scan that QR code above. Caesar Sportsbook. Get some money out here because people are hot.
Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale with the Buick GMC brands, located on Woodward just south of 9 Mile in the great city of Ferndale. Looking for a new car, used car, pre-owned car, service, they've got you covered. Also, Chevrolet Cadillac in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. All GM brands under one umbrella. Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, Corvette, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And let's drive on over to some news and notes from the NFL. But before we do that, Dan Campbell speaking at the podium today about the NFL trade deadline. There is nothing imminent. Are you guys? Let me ask you guys this. That Zadarius Smith report that came out yesterday,
and the
day before, it's going to happen last night. It's going to happen today. It's going to happen on It hasn't happened yet. Nope. Okay,
they're trying to drive the price up. Cleveland will trade him.
You know, I posted on Twitter yesterday about I really do believe Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions organization as a whole, owes it to everybody in that locker room, everybody in that organization, every Lions fan over the course of their lifetime to make a move. Make a significant move that is going to help them on the field to win a Super Bowl.
He's trying, but it takes two to tango.
I understand it takes two to tango. At the same time, when you hear these reports, I posted that yesterday, and somebody was like, "Didn't you hear the Zadarius Smith idiot?" And I was like,
done?
"Yeah, I did." But until something's done, it's not done.
Yeah.
So it's not done yet. And I'm not saying it's not going to get done, but as of this moment right now, 3:27 p.m. on Monday, it's not done yet. Here's Dan Campbell just moments ago.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's I don't think it's entirely up to us. You know, I can tell you we're trying. Brad's trying, and we've looked at everything. We really have made a ton of calls, and he's been rolling on it. So we'll see. We still got a little bit of time here. You know, we got till tomorrow evening. So we'll see what happens.
Listen, man, every team in the league, 31 of them, know what the Lions need. And you know what they're trying to do? Milk them for every single thing they could possibly get out of this team. Players have been going for third-round picks, fifth-round picks, sixth-round picks. They want a 1. They want a 2. They want a couple of picks. They want a player. They're not giving the Lions a break. And there are other teams. Look at the Rams. They're starting to win now. There are teams that think they're in this, that think, okay, I'm not going to let the Lions get that guy. I'm going to go after him. So the Lions are probably going to have to pay more than they want to for anyone they trade for.
Yeah, that's what comes to the territory. Look, and the reason why teams are driving up the bargain and the price is because they know the Lions are a Super Bowl team. They know that if they get that player, the Lions, who are already a Super Bowl team, will really put the nail in the coffin and become the dominant favorites in the league, and they know that. They know that this is a press year for those guys. So, yeah, they're going to drive those prices up. But I think that's where the comment comes in that you made, Ryan Ermanni. Knowing all of that, it does not matter. You got to do what you need to do to get this move in. If people want to drive the prices up, you can't mortgage the house and mortgage the future. But you got to damn near mortgage the house and mortgage the future to get that player so that you can just put the nail, put the coffin, the stamp.
There are two types of, well, let me just say it like this.
People?
You could read a quote, and then you could see somebody say the quote, and those are two different things. Mm-hmm. I do not like Dan Campbell's body language on that.
No,
after hearing it again, after hearing him say it, you read it, and it's like, it feels like coach speak. You know, yeah, Brad's making some calls. It takes 2 to tango. Yeah. You see it, and Dan Campbell is a tell.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Campbell would be
terrible poker
player.
Brad Holmes could play.
Right. Dan Campbell would not be able to play. No. It looks like, as of right now, they've got no deal.
They want a first-round pick or something. I'm telling you, they're asking for everything. And I told you, Brad Holmes is playing poker. He's going to play till 4 o'clock tomorrow, 3:59. This deal will not be done. A deal will not be done until tomorrow. And now the Giants, who are pathetic. The whole place should be blown up after what Saquon Barkley is doing. What a disaster this has become. We watched the Hard Knocks. We watched Joe Shane talking to Saquon Barkley, and I know there's more to that story. They only show you a little bit, bits and pieces. Brian Daboll, I know, talked to him before they let him go. You can't let Saquon Barkley go. They're as bad as the Raiders. So you have them. You got Cleveland. You got a bunch of these other ragtag teams, New England. They got no shot in hell for the next 5 years. Go after these guys, but they're going to hold the Lions hostage until the very last minute. The Giants have a guy named Azeez Ojulari. a great pass rusher. He's already got 6 sacks this year.
24 years old.
He's going to get traded. He's a second-round pick. Why not go after the Giants? They're stupid. Go after them. Talk to Joe Shane. You could talk him. You could buy the Brooklyn Bridge from him.
ML Football just reported that they're talking to them right now.
Lions and
And they're talking to everybody, but everybody wants too much. So what is too much? If you want Zadarius Smith, what are you going to give up for him?
See, this is where it's really, we sit here and we play general manager on, whatever. Like, everybody knows what's best for the Lions, and I understand that. It just feels like you only are a Super Bowl favorite so many times.
We've seen it. We've seen it recently, and I brought this example up last week, and I'll bring it up again. It's just like when the Chiefs got Frank Clark. Chiefs were looking for their first Super Bowl win. They were right there. They had the quarterback. You got the weapons. You got the talent. You're just a edge rusher away. They went out and did what they had to do. They went and got Frank Clark from the Seattle Seahawks. They paid Frank Clark that next season after they won the Super Bowl. But you got to do what you got to do. He was a guy that was going to get paid regardless. He was wreaking havoc in Seattle, and now he's the all-time NFL leader in playoff sacks. But the Chiefs went and got Frank Clark. Frank Clark wasn't necessarily a guy that was Max Crosby. He wasn't necessarily a guy that was Myles Garrett. But he was a guy that was in that 15 sack space, the 12 sack space, 13 sack space, Zadarius Smith sack space, and they got it done in the playoffs. But they went out and got him, and that was their first Super Bowl win once they got him to the team.
No doubt about it.
It's going to cost you more than you want to give, but that's what it is.
But what would a Super Bowl be worth?
Correct.
That's what it comes
I'm
down
totally
to.
with you.
How much?
Yeah.
How many
Totally.
picks is a Super Bowl worth to you?
But then Zadarius Smith might not be the Super Bowl.
This
If I'm
is
going to
true.
give my picks up, I want my guy.
Right.
I don't want a guy. And you said it. 4 teams? I don't want just a guy.
There's conversations had it all around. They're talking to multiple teams. We've been hearing the rumblings for the last week or so. So we know that Brad Holmes is out there doing his job, having the conversations. It's just going to come down to that right move, that right fit, that right player at that right price.
All right, guys, let's go to the scoreboard from yesterday. We'll try to pick up a couple of games here. But I'll tell you about what we did yesterday. Over the weekend, KG was 6-0 going into the night game last night. Thank God he took Indy. He winds up 6-1. I'm 5-2. Ryan went 5-2. Braylon went 4-3. Pete went 4-3. Whoever you took, you lost 3 games. 4-3.
I'm just asking, man. I'm trying to backtrack where my that was.
You know how hard 43-17 is.
I know
by the way.
I picked the Packers.
You picked the Pack.
I know I picked the Pack, and I know I picked the Colts. I was trying to figure out that third game I lost.
I think it was the Broncos, but I got to look back.
Yeah,
I got to look back.
The 10-4 over the last 2 weeks has
I'll tell you who
really
you
helped me out. Get back to even.
I'm 4-3, 4-3, and 5 and 6-1. So I'm not doing bad.
Not doing bad.
No, Seattle you took. That was your other loss.
Ah, okay.
KG. And
Well,
I'll tell you
I
what.
would have won that one.
I'll tell you, man, Philadelphia had that game, and they let a couple of bad scores. They're not very good, I don't think.
Philadelphia?
They're
not good.
I just don't trust
They got no coach.
I don't believe in them. I don't.
They have no coach.
Saquon Barkley masks a lot of problems with the Philadelphia Eagles.
When you
Yeah,
see
he does.
That hurdle
He masks
yesterday
a
was
lot of
unreal.
problems.
Yeah, that backwards hurdle. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen anything like it, bro?
No, I've never seen anything like that. He jumped backward. He did that before with the Giants, but he didn't get over the guy. When he turned and did it, the guy, it was weird, but he done it before and it didn't work. That time he actually cleared the guy. When you see teams that have talent like that, but you're seeing close games against teams that you should blow out, and you're getting highlight plays just to be like, Eagles, they're a fraud.
They are.
The Eagles are a fraudulent team. There's no fluidity. There's no consistency. I mean, it does not look consistent and fluid. It just looks like, oh, that worked. Like that Devontae Smith touchdown. That stuff like that happens on the fraudulent teams.
Pete, put up those scores again. Atlanta knocked off the Cowboys 27-21. Really wasn't that close at all. And then you know who got hurt?
Dak got
Drake
hurt.
London got hurt.
Dak Prescott got hurt. Drake London got hurt.
That's what messed up the.
Oh, I'm telling you, Dak Prescott's going to be out several weeks with a hamstring injury.
He's a bum.
Jerry Jones popped on yesterday. Pete, you have that cut? Jerry Jones, of course, trying to defend his team. They are done. They are shot, but not to Jerry.
really regret this for all of our Dallas Cowboy fans. I will tell you this, that I've been around, I've seen Michael Irvin tear up and cry when he couldn't lose anybody because he's just recovering from knee surgery. Yet his ass came back and led a team to 3 Super Bowls. I know you can be there if you're there. That room's full of guys that can get it done. I believe in them, coaches and all.
Man.
It's just sad now because, you know, at the end, he's getting towards the end of the rope. He's saying things that have no merit, no validity. And now it's sad because, Jerry, what are you watching? This team is an abomination. We knew before going into the season this team didn't like each other. There was back and forth between Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott. They had to bring Ezekiel Elliott in just so Dak
They left
had
him
a
home.
friend.
They left him home.
Offensive line wasn't the same. You won't get around. It is disarray. That's why before the season, this was the biggest and the easiest pick for who's not going to be there. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry is just in denial and old age.
Well, did you see the cut of on the sideline of Dak Prescott? We suck.
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah, you know, he sucks. He's a big part of the problem.
If I was Kirk Cousins, I would hate that comparison that Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins are the same person, because I'm here to tell you they're absolutely
CeeDee
not.
Lamb is hurt. ACL joint. He was down and out yesterday. He played right through those injuries. They're bad, man.
And, you know, Jerry Jones, just last thought on the Cowboys for me, is like Jerry Jones kind of like Bill Belichick. You might do something well, but you suck at being a general manager.
Yeah.
Like Bill Belichick, great coach, terrible GM.
I agree.
Jerry Jones, I don't know what he's good at, but he sucks at being a GM.
He's a spokesman for the NFL. That's what he makes the NFL money.
Right.
That's what he's good for.
Here's the problem with that conversation, though. How many Pro Bowl players have you had? How many great players have you had on the defense and the offensive line? They got so many. Like that offensive line that Zeke had, they got 3 players that might be going to Ken.
He does draft
well. He drafts well.
They
don't have the coach and they don't have they don't have this, like Dan Campbell and Allen Park. They got a collective culture. They got a great culture, a work hard culture, for self culture. Like they have a culture that is extremely selfish down there in Dallas. They get the players, but they blow their heads up, man, and it's chaos down there.
Poor Mike McCarthy is he's so done.
He sucks too.
He's so done.
He got a Super Bowl.
You know, I mean, seriously, he sucks too. He had an all-time great as quarterback.
Who's the worst coach with the Super Bowl win?
Oh, God, I'd have to think about that.
I have to look back.
Doug Peterson comes to mind.
Yeah,
he
right.
could be up there too.
He would be up there.
Hey, a 61-yard field goal by Tyler Bass wins the game for Buffalo. They let Miami come all the way back and tie that game, and Tua was really good in that game. But they're bad too. Mike McDaniel might be on his way out as well. There are so many coaches
He was
that
your
are going to
favorite
get
coach
fired.
a year ago.
I know. He looks like he's aged 10 years this year. But a 61-yard field goal by Tyler Bass, Buffalo wins. Bengals finally found somebody they could beat. They beat the Raiders bad.
First home win of the year.
Jim Harbaugh's a magician. He has no offense, yet they put up 27. And they win it 27.
By the way, how about
10.
this for Jim Harbaugh? Just as a thought on Jim Harbaugh, 5 wins for the Chargers all of last year. They picked up their 5th win yesterday.
Yep.
All he does is win football
Facts.
games and turn organizations and teams around. Can't hear you.
Guys, there are reports right now that the Chargers are the leading contender to reel in T. Higgins in trade talks. So that could be another piece.
They absolutely need a wide receiver.
He's been playing hurt all year.
They absolutely need a wide receiver.
Jermaine Burton's season.
Hey, the Titans won yesterday in overtime. They beat New England. Battle of the have-nots in that game. And what's the other ones there, Pete?
Hang on, buddy.
Side note about the Chargers, you talk about University of Michigan, you talk about the players leaving, the coaches leaving, you talk about Jim Harbaugh, but it was the complete staff. The Chargers were the 30th ranked defense last year? The Chargers have the number 1 defense in the NFL because of Jesse Minter. Like that's the type of that's the stuff Michigan doesn't have anymore.
What a staff.
Jesse Minter, number 1 defense in the NFL, and they were 30 last year. That
so
is what
incredible.
Michigan doesn't have.
Washington wins again. They beat the Giants. Giants are a complete dumpster fire in that one. And what other ones you want to talk about up there, Ryan?
I want to talk about the Rams.
Great comeback by them.
The Rams are going to win that division.
Yes, they are.
The Rams are going to win that division. 1-4, and they're going to come back and win that division. Matthew Stafford with an incredible ball in overtime.
What a catch by DeMarcus Robinson.
Absolutely.
Another one-hander.
Igor Torblowski now thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl or capable of winning
You know
the
he's
Super
a
Bowl.
Matt Stafford
I mean,
guy.
Listen, man, they're
when
good.
healthy,
They're not.
when healthy, They're a very dangerous football team.
The thing that shocked me about them, and to the point about them being healthy, is how good they were playing on defense. That defensive line was getting after quarterbacks. They were playing well. That's the thing that makes that team a little bit scary, is how good the defense was playing. We know how good Matt Stafford and those guys are when you have Puka and you got number 10 and Cooper Kupp and Kyron Williams.
Carolina found a team they can beat.
Ugh.
They beat the New Orleans Saints. Bryce Young won a game, and it
Bye,
cost
Dennis
Allen his job today.
Yep.
The first coach fired midseason here.
Is that 7 straight losses for them, though?
Yep.
Yeah, they're terrible. Is he the first coach, or was there someone else?
Second coach,
Saleh.
Robert Saleh.
But there was also history made with that loss. Derek Carr has now lost to 31 NFL teams.
Oh, my goodness That's a good one.
Nobody else has done that.
Record.
Hey, when we
pretty
come
amazing.
back, can I do a Derek Carr story for you?
100%.
All right.
Yep,
this
absolutely.
is a good one.
All right,
This is a
Derek
good
Carr
one.
story next. But first, a message from us here talking about the post-game show.
I'll talk about it, but my man Stick is part of it. Stick and Anson do the post-game show live at the Hayes Social. Look, as soon as the game's over, you can jump into the conversation because they're going to dive into what the Detroit Lions have done, which is just win, baby, win, in the words of Al Davis. You want to party? It is Sabbath Coffee Roasters that help us do the show, as well as Soroki's. And then don't forget about Taller and Tullamore Dude. Post-game show immediately following the game. Stick and Anson do a hell of a job. Tune in because we let the city be a part of winning.
Yeah, and you just mentioned Taller. I mean, gin's not my drink, fellas. I'm a whiskey guy, but
Same.
my goodness, if I'm diving into some gin, this is the only way to do it with that beautiful, beautiful puree that they put into it.
gin.
Had a sip of it yesterday during the victory party going on at Hayes Social. So go find Taller. It's in a liquor store near you. Go get it and enjoy yourself this weekend.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
If you are tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch, you can head to shop.woodwardsports.com and load up and get some new gear for yourself. The Pistons are back in session. The Red Wings are back in session. We all know the Lions are just continuing to win. Don't forget to load up on the Tigers coming up for next spring. Head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and get yourself some of the latest Detroit sports gear, which is guaranteed to turn heads. Also, you can wear some of that to the second best bar located at 42 Randy Watson Street in downtown Detroit, and we're going to be there on Sunday, November 17th for the Lions pregame show. You can enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching that Woodward Sports Lions pregame show, the best Lions pregame show in all of Detroit, better than the flagship, only at the second best bar. Come get some.
And let me tell you about KDK Law, dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, other family law issues. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10-plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on your screen right now or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back. Final segment of the show, Tom Masway, you wanted to get to the Michael Thomas tweets.
Before that, Dante spent a lot of money for me to read this. I do not know if you guys realized it, but the Lions did something for the first time yesterday that I could think of. They beat a team where it was someone's birthday again. First, Jerry Jones. Yesterday was Matt LaFleur's
Look at that.
birthday. So thank you. Happy birthday to Matt. Happy birthday to Jerry. Belated, of course. I did tell you Dennis Allen was fired today from the Saints. They lose to the Panthers yesterday. And then there's this Michael Thomas, who doesn't play for anyone right now. He's been injured probably the last 2 years, but he used to be a very good receiver. But he doesn't like Derek Carr.
Debatable.
Yeah, he doesn't like Derek Carr, and he put out a lot of tweets over the last couple of days, Rye. And I guess you could kind of sum them up.
Absolutely, going after Derek Carr. They fired all them coaches to cover his flaws up, and he's still doing the same stuff. Dude tried to lie and say I was jealous of them making Chris wide receiver one whole time. He can't even get him a decent ball. He needs to get his bleep whooped. That year, his buddy went first team All-Pro in 2022. He needed 180 targets just to catch 100 passes. He is blank on my granny. Dude's scary and panic. Just throw the ball. Get him the F out of here. He's so butt.
He didn't like that Chris Olave was hung out in the middle of the field and concussed for a fifth time in his career and taken out on a stretcher. Chris Olave's career is in trouble.
Did you hear Carr's response to that? Did you guys see
We
the
have
video?
it. Here it is. Derek Carr
Go ahead,
responds.
before we do that, go ahead. What were you going to say about
Never liked Michael Thomas. Always thought he was an overrated receiver. Has nothing to do with him being from Ohio State. He played with Drew Brees, Sean Payton. All he ran was slant routes. With that being said, you create this guy. Then this guy decides to get paid and then never play again. So I have some when guys do that. I feel the type of way. But there's a lot of truth into what he said about the conversation with Derek Carr. Some of my friends that have been around him, played in the same organization, it's something there to the comments in which he made, and then obviously he did leave Olave out to dry, but it's part of the game kind of story.
Derek Carr was asked in the press conference about these things. He said, look, I don't read them. I know it's true what he wrote. Michael Thomas is like, here he is. He took the high road.
Derek, Michael Thomas was on social media today, again,
I thought he
kind of
handled it
insinuating
well.
that your pass was the reason Olave get hurt. And I know this is the second time you've done this and you've addressed it. But when you see that or hear that from a former teammate, kind of what is your reaction?
You know, I have love for Mike, and when he does that, I don't really care for it, obviously. I've had so many teammates over the years, and he's like the one dude that didn't get along with me, and I don't know what I did to him. I don't know why he feels that way. I'm sorry, for whatever he's dealing with to make him feel like he's got to do that. I don't know, but he's never called me during any of this, my phone number has never changed. I've in fact called him on different occasions, just to try. And sometimes you can try as hard as you want, and it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. So I don't know why he feels any type of way. I didn't see it. I won't see it because I always ignore everything, good and bad. I try to ignore everything. So it's unfortunate, especially coming from a player like that. But I wish him the best. I hope he gets on a team and does what he wants to do and loves it. I'll never change.
the guy that's sitting on the couch, complaining about a guy that's playing. Because there's always going to be some element, some level of jealousy there. And Derek Carr, regardless of what's going on, he hit the nail on the head. Look, if you got an issue with me, you got a problem with me, my phone number is my phone number. You want to reach out and talk about it. When guys go to Twitter, they take to Twitter and they have these conversations, it gets messy and it just leads you to believe, whether there's some element of truth to it or not, that you're on the wrong side.
Colin Cowherd, I heard him. I was driving over today, and I heard him talk about this Derek Carr, Michael Thomas thing, and he said he was talking to some league exec, and he said he's never in 30 years of being in the NFL been around a bigger diva than Michael Thomas. Or I don't remember diva if diva was big.
No one's signing
bigger. Bigger problem than Michael. Bigger locker room problem. Than Michael Thomas.
Isn't it something to the guys that don't deserve the money and when they get paid? Because this is very eerily similar to another guy that got paid from the Detroit Lions that got paid with the New York Giants. The guys that don't deserve the money when they get paid, they turn into the exact guy you thought they were. 100%. It's exactly what it is.
And especially if your team, well, not Michael Thomas's case, but in Galladay's case, the team that drafted you, that knows all about you, ain't paying you.
Well, no,
Go ahead.
Hey, back to the Bears for a minute. They lost yesterday to Arizona. They got crushed yesterday. Matt Eberflus might be on his last leg. Like Ryan told me yesterday, I think Washington broke them because they were very high and ready to really take off, I think, with that win at Washington. And then they lose it with Tyreek Stevenson, who, by the way, took himself out of practice this week because he heard he was being demoted. This is the guy that was trying to talk with the Washington fans, barely got back to the play, and tipped the ball for the win. Yesterday, Caleb Williams is scrambling for his life. DJ Moore, listen to this, Bray.
Yeah.
The video's out there. We can't show it to you because it's live footage. He stepped off the field and went on the sideline. The play went on for another 10 seconds. DJ Moore removed himself from the game.
Yeah, that's certain things you just can't do, regardless of what's going on in a situation, how bad a situation is, what a player says, what's going on behind the line. Some things you cannot do. You got to finish that game. You got to find a way to get to the locker room. You got to find a way to get things, to just get out of the situation.
I'm saying he left during the play.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like this sets. I know exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
This sets a precedent. Like the only thing I compare it to is Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
He left the game with the New York Jets.
But he didn't leave during a live play.
This is. How do you coach that? Now, Eberflus, this is 2 weeks in a row that you've had a situation with your players, and we talked about it, is how players are coached. Yep. Last week you got a guy taunting, and then what happens? He tips the ball, Jaden Daniels wins the game, and now this week you have a guy to lead. It's Eberflus, and he's going to have to leave.
He's done.
He's
totally
done. He's totally done. It's 2 weeks in a row.
He left Caleb Williams in at the end of the game, and he got hurt when it was over. The last 20 seconds of the game, it was over. And he left him in, and the kid hurt his ankle.
You know what we should have paid attention to?
Of men. 100%.
You know what you should have paid attention?
He's not a leader.
Should have paid attention to where did offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders,
Cliff Kingsbury.
Where did Cliff Kingsbury go? Who had he been working with? He had been working with Caleb Williams. No. He had talked to Eberflus. Remember, he was in Chicago, and it was the word that he might go to Chicago. Chose to go to Washington because he knew that they were drafting Caleb Williams in Chicago, and he knew who the better quarterback was. We should have paid attention to it then.
Guys, I'm not going to be here the next 2 days. I'm going to try to join the show virtually. I've got election stuff I got to do for Fox 2.
Who you voting for?
Who are you voting for? But
you coming on for a voting rundown?
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to join you for 30 minutes here and there, whatever you need. If you need something, I just can't physically be here. So in the meantime, I want to give you a quick thought on Michigan. I cannot remember a time I have been less invested in Michigan football emotionally. That's it. I barely watched the game against her. I barely watched it. I'm not emotionally invested in this team. I'm just not. I'm happy we beat Michigan State, but got nothing. I got no emotion.
Funny thing about that, they texted me, they emailed me. Ward Emmanuel's assistant emailed me and reached out to me and said they wanted to bring me on the field to get honored the Northwestern game because of the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. I was like, oh, y'all want to try and honor him when y'all were winning. Now all of a sudden, y'all need somebody.
Are you going now?
Excuse me, no, I'm not going. Now you want me to come on field for the Northwestern game?
At least they're going to give you a W. I mean, at least it's Northwestern. They didn't do it during the Oregon game.
Get bowl eligible.
Northwestern will beat them.
The funny thing about it is I actually got to work, so I'll be there, but I ain't going on the field. Just shine a light in the suite.
Get us out of here, bro.
We appreciate you for tuning in. Lions get another win. So I was wrong. I said Green Bay was going to win, so I had to eat crow. Lions doing it. But the watch for insert defensive rush in, it continues, but we'll have more for you tomorrow on that, man. Keep the watch going. We know Brad Holmes will make a move. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate the support. Stick, appreciate you for filling in the booth.
Thank
you,
guys.
My man Tom Mazaway, my brother from another mother, Ryan Ermanni. Love
Got
you.
it.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Let me have your read.
Oh, not it.